You know that quiet moment when you suddenly realize you're tired of your own patterns? Not tired in a dramatic, I'm changing everything starting Monday way. More like, you're standing in the kitchen, staring into the fridge you already opened 10 minutes ago, wondering how you ended up here again, mentally exhausted, emotionally cluttered, and strangely detached from a life you're technically responsible for. You're not spiraling. You're stalling. Your days blur together. Your intentions are good. Your potential feels real. But something keeps slipping through the cracks. Motivation, clarity, direction, energy. And the worst part? You can't point to one big thing that's broken. It's 1,000 small things that never get addressed. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's someone close to you. Or maybe you're watching this with a weird mix of curiosity and mild offense, thinking, okay, why does this feel uncomfortably accurate? Here's the truth most people miss. Lives don't usually fall apart because of chaos. They unravel because of invisible habits that quietly shape how your brain experiences every single day. I didn't fix my life with a massive breakthrough or a motivational epiphany. There was no dramatic turning point, no overnight transformation, no viral new me moment. I fixed my life with 6 daily habits, subtle ones that didn't feel powerful at first, but slowly rewired how I thought, reacted, and showed up. And what surprised me most wasn't that they worked. It was who they worked for. Because we don't all struggle the same way, and we definitely don't heal the same way. So as you listen, don't try to memorize the habits. Notice which version of you keeps showing up in the stories. Let's start with the person who wakes up already behind. You know this feeling in your bones. The alarm goes off and your brain instantly starts negotiating. 5 more minutes, then another. Then you wake up in a low-grade panic. Heart slightly faster than it should be. Your hand reaches for your phone before your feet touch the floor. Notifications, messages, news, social media, other people's problems, other people's wins, other people's opinions about things you haven't even had time to care about yet. Before you've had water, your nervous system is already in traffic. Psychologically, this does something sneaky. Your brain starts the day in reactive mode. Instead of choosing your focus, you're responding to external stimuli. Dopamine spikes from scrolling. Cortisol rises from urgency. And suddenly, everything feels important and nothing feels intentional. You're not lazy. You're overstimulated. The habit that began to fix this wasn't a strict morning routine or a 5 a.m. lifestyle. It was a boundary, and a surprisingly gentle one. For the first 10 minutes of the day, the world didn't get access to me. No phone, no notifications, no checking, just orientation, coffee, light through a window, sometimes a notebook, sometimes just sitting there, letting my thoughts come online without being interrupted. This tiny pause did something profound. It told my nervous system, you're not late, you're not behind, you're here. And when your brain stops feeling chased, it starts cooperating. If mornings feel chaotic, rushed, or emotionally loud for you, this habit isn't about discipline. It's about psychological safety. Then there's the overthinker, the planner, the one who is always getting ready. This person is smart, self-aware, curious. They consume content, read books, watch videos, save quotes, understand their patterns on a theoretical level. And yet, nothing changes. They don't procrastinate because they're lazy. They procrastinate because action feels dangerous. Action creates exposure. It invites feedback. It risks disappointment. Thinking, on the other hand, feels productive without vulnerability. Psychologically, this is cognitive safety. The brain uses preparation as a shield. The habit that started breaking this pattern wasn't confidence or motivation. It was deliberately small, deliberately incomplete action. One tiny step a day. And stopping early on purpose. Not finishing the workout. Not perfecting the draft. Not optimizing the plan. Just starting badly and leaving. 5 push-ups. 1 paragraph written. 1 uncomfortable message sent without rereading it 5 times. No closure. No satisfaction. This retrained my nervous system. It learned that starting didn't lead to danger. That action didn't automatically equal judgment or failure. If you're always preparing but rarely moving, this habit feels almost pointless until you realize it's quietly dismantling fear. Then there's the emotional absorber. These are the people who feel everything. They walk into a room and sense the temperature immediately. Other people's moods stick to them. Tension lingers. Conversations replay at night. Someone else's disappointment becomes their responsibility. By the end of the day, they're exhausted, but they can't explain why. Psychologically, this comes from high empathy paired with weak emotional boundaries. The nervous system never fully powers down because it doesn't know when the day is over. The habit that helped wasn't becoming colder or less caring. It was a daily emotional exit. At the end of each day, I asked one question. What am I still holding that doesn't belong to me? Sometimes I wrote it down. Sometimes I said it out loud. Sometimes I physically shook it off. Yes, literally, like a dog shaking off water. Silly? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. This signaled closure. Completion. Permission to rest. If you go to bed tired but wired, emotionally full but mentally restless, this habit explains more than you think. Another type, and this one hides behind humor and self-awareness, is the momentum skeptic. They've tried before. A lot. New routines, new goals, new versions of themselves. They start strong, burn out, quit, and quietly collect evidence that consistency just isn't their thing. So they stop trusting momentum. They tell themselves they're realistic. Low expectations feel safer than hope. Psychologically, this is self-protection. If you don't expect progress, you can't be disappointed. The habit that repaired this wasn't hype. It was proof. Daily proof. Tracked visually. I marked effort, not results. Showing up counted. Outcomes didn't. No streaks to protect. No shame for missing days. Just evidence that some days I followed through. Over time, my brain stopped arguing with visible data. Self-trust isn't built through promises. It's built through receipts. If you struggle to believe in yourself, this habit doesn't hype you up. It quietly rebuilds credibility. And then there's the identity drifter. This person is functional, responsible, maybe even successful. Their life looks fine on paper. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But internally, something feels misaligned, like they're playing a role they never consciously chose. Psychologically, this happens when action isn't connected to identity. When decisions are driven by pressure instead of values, the brain craves coherence, and without it, even success feels hollow. The habit that changed this wasn't goal setting. It was reflection. Every night, one question. Did I act like the kind of person I respect today? Not, was I productive? Not, did I impress anyone? Some days the answer was no, and that honesty mattered more than positivity. Over time, choices started organizing themselves around identity instead of obligation. If you've ever thought, why does my life look okay but feel wrong? This is probably why. Here's the quiet truth underneath all 6 habits. They weren't about discipline. They weren't about willpower. They were about relationship with time, with action, with emotion, with self-trust, with identity. When those relationships shift, behavior follows naturally. So now I'll ask you, which version sounded like you? The reactive starter, the over-preparer, the emotional absorber, the momentum skeptic, the identity drifter, or maybe a blend. Most people are. Sit with that. And if this landed somewhere real, don't rush past it. Reflect. Talk about it. Write about it. And tomorrow morning, before the world gets to say, try one small habit. Not to fix your life all at once, but to start listening to it more honestly. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Hit the like button if this helped you.